everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk with Casey and Mike. We appreciate you guys being patient. We appreciate all three of y'all. I'm just kidding. We miss you guys. We appreciate you all being patient with us and over the Thanksgiving holiday. We hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We are happy to be back. We are happy to come to you guys with the new topic for this year. It is called Why Do We Ostracize? Actually, because I don't see it scrolling on the bottom. It says Artificial Joy.
Oh, okay.
But that's all right. The topic of it is called Why Do We Ostracize? And people and groups and things of that nature. So we talked about it a little bit. So this is a wide spectrum of this subject matter is very wide. It is huge because when you think about it, we ostracize people because of their skin color within the black community. If you dark skin, I was gonna say if you're dark skin growing up, you dark, you this, and there are certain things that were put on it. We ostracize people. Based off of so many different things. And we all know that that's wrong because we all do things and we all say things and we all hang with certain groups. If you hang with this group, well, this group can't talk to that group because they are this. They don't make enough money and they're poor and they don't. So that we do that. And sometimes we think that we're being ostracized and we're not. It's just in our mind because that's something that I did. There's the times in my life where I went through things where I thought I was being ostracized when I really wasn't. It was just kind of in my mind. And so there's reality, and then there is what we put in our minds when we come to thinking of being ostracized. So I will stop for a second and let you hit it, Casey, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I think we do it unintentionally in a lot of ways. We ostracize people because of their status, their ethnicity, where they, what religion they're in, just people who we feel may be weird, or people feel like we're weird, or we do it for so many different things, and it's something that you kind of have to catch yourself and really have empathy.
Right, because we all do it. You're right. We all do it sometimes. Whether sometimes we are cognizant of it, sometimes we aren't.
Right. And when we are, I think we really need to dial it in and reel it in that we've seen people who may have a handicap of some sort, or someone who may be some other physical challenge. And, though our heart may go out to them, a lot of times we see them secluded or ostracized, as we're talking about today, for any specific reason. I'm one of the people, I'm like, look, come on in, whatever you feel comfortable with doing, let's do it. I don't want to look at you in any other way other than how you want to be viewed. So we have so many people. I remember one time playing basketball at the University of Florida on one of their practice courts, and a guy walked in with one arm, and dude was like, I got down. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I could kind of tell how he walked in. He had some ability.
Right.
But
right.
I didn't know who he was
right
then. But bro was on the University of Florida basketball team with one arm.
You never know.
When he called down, he didn't get back out the court. He didn't get back out the court. And
a preconceived notion.
Some other folks are looking like, come on, man, come on. But it's like, no, let's run.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, it was everybody else was ostracized at that moment. I mean, it was awesome, man. But just the manner in which he handled the onlookers. First of all, him knowing that people are going to be like, what's going on? It didn't bother him one bit. And I would tell folk, encourage people to have that type of understanding and confidence in yourself, that no matter what you're dealing with, you know, God created us all equally.
Yep.
He created us all equally, and we are created in His image. Not that we look like Him, we're creating His image.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think we do need to catch ourselves, and the times that we don't realize that it's happening, and
Mhm.
little kids, it's
Yeah,
hey,
that's right.
if you want to know the truth, you should be able to ask the holy.
Yes,
You should be able to ask those that are Christians. But when you want to know the truth,
that's
you ask
it.
a kid. They
Yeah,
will
they
tell you straight
tell
up
you your
truth.
breath stink, tell you
It,
you ugly.
it
Yeah,
does
they'll
not
take
matter.
all of it.
It does not matter. So
That's
yeah,
true.
I think overall us as a people, and we do it based on a lot of times our surroundings. If they're being ostracized by other people,
Yeah,
you kind of just I don't I don't know. I'm okay
yeah,
with going against the grain and
yeah.
not
Me
doing what other
too.
people are doing. So
I don't mind going against the grain. I mean, you and I are raised. You know how we are. But I have a horrible, ultimately a horrible story. Um, it's gonna hurt my feelings right now. It's not bad like that.
okay,
I don't know if you remember in high school, there was a paraplegic. His name was Sean. I think his name was Sean.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was in, yes. So he and I were friends. He and I were good friends. Helped him in school and the whole deal. And he wanted me to come to his house. And I always made excuses. And I never went. And why is this hurting? He passed away.
Oh wow.
And I never went to his house. And that was 30 some odd years ago. And I still feel it today
Mm,
because we were friends and I helped him in school. We did a whole bunch of things and things of that nature. But I didn't, I didn't, I don't know the word for it. I was not brave enough or was not whatever to get past my bias because I was at school, everybody was around, I was comfortable, whatever. But getting past that bias of going to his house because of whatever, and that thing hurt me to this day because I hurt him because he was like, "Oh, you're my friend at school, but you don't want to come to my house." And that thing just it.
that or is that how
Hmm?
you recognize that, or is that how you felt?
Oh no, he was upset. No, no, no. This particular deal, he was upset because he came to school and all the time because I always made excuses and like he was he's kind of said something about it and I kind of brushed it off. But uh I was 17, 18. That's not an excuse, but I am 52 years old, and that decision not to go to his house
Mm,
and hurt his feelings because of whatever bias I had, because it was fine at school, but it's like, what am I going to do with his house? What am I going to do with his house? And so that um, we I need to be, or back then I should have been more open and should have been more whatever because he was my friend. He was my friend, but it's almost like I cut it off, or I was more I was whatever. I have no excuse. There is no excuse, and so I say that to say this: you never know what people are going through. You never know how you make people feel, and so like people who don't talk to people who think that they're beneath them, and maybe that's where that came from for me because I didn't think it was beneath me or anything like that. It's just I didn't know what I was going to do in that particular situation. and
Right.
so I didn't go, and so um, that made him feel bad, which in turn made me feel bad because I knew I was wrong. And so you have people out here who are what do they call them? Who always wear black? Those people who are the kids,
Prophet.
the goths, gothic people. And I'm not saying, hey, you don't know. Maybe that's just what they like, or maybe they're going through something, or maybe you see someone going through whatever. You just never know. But that particular story stuck with me. And even so, we don't. I'm not going to go Bible and start scriptures, but there are gay people um, who are ostracized, but they're still people. You are to love that. You are to love them. You are to love everyone. But you have a tendency to say, "Oh, they're goth, or they're gay, or they're poor, or they're this, or they're that," and so then we because once you do that, you automatically are trying to put yourself above, or I'm better than, and you aren't better than, because when it comes to certain sin, it's like, oh, we pick certain sins that, oh, you can't come to my church. And one topic that we were going to talk about as far as denominations, oh, I'm by faith, and I'm this, or I am non-denominational. And so we get into this thing we're not going to talk to you, or we aren't going to do this because of our notions, instead of just loving people. I'm just going to love you, and whatever things you got going on, or whatever, I'm here to help you. I'm here to do what I can to help you, because that's what we're called here to do. We're here to love, preach the word of God, and keep on moving. That doesn't mean that we are better than anyone, because we sin just like everyone else. And so that ostracizing thing, I'm rambling because I'm in my feelings. So go ahead, cuz. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like, first of all, for you, um, how you feel about it is a real feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you own it. You own it. And God knows your heart. Unfortunately, he's not here for you to
Mm-hmm.
make it up to him, but
Right.
forgiveness doesn't end when another person's life ends.
Right.
You would definitely, probably, um, I'm certain, would have wanted to apologize to him for not
Absolutely.
coming. But I, I encourage you and myself and everybody else, don't hold on to things that we no longer have any control over.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't have any control over that situation, but you do have control over your ability to repeat it.
Absolutely.
Your
Absolutely.
ability to repeat it. So I totally feel what you're saying. I went through something on a different note when it came down to somebody asking for my presence while they were in the hospital sick. And I kept putting it off. And I believe I told you about that. I kept putting it off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to go tomorrow for sure. I'm going to go tomorrow. And I ended up going to ask about where they were, the room number. And I believe it was my mom. I may be mistaken, but she was like, he passed last night. And from that point on, I really realized that whenever, what's up, Ram family? We see you. We see the comments. Y'all keep commenting, ask any questions as well. But from that point on, I really it was in me when it was on me, or when somebody asked for me. It's my duty. It's
Mm-hmm.
my duty, especially if we're friends, if we grown up together, even if we work together. If somebody wants to have me in their presence, I'm honored that you
Right.
think enough of me to ask me to come to a intimate,
Right.
bedside setting. A lot of people don't want you to see them in that state, man. And
Right.
and from that point on, I'm like, man, anytime I see or hear or know of someone in that state, if I can get to them, I'm gonna get to them. Especially when God places it in my heart, like, go see this person, because it's happened before where a person was heavy on my mind. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't even sick. It's just that, go see this person, random person. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't just want to, but I learned, go see them, because it's been
Right.
times when those
Right.
people have passed and I didn't follow suit.
And it's a like what you were saying, it's a privilege. It really is a privilege for someone to want you to come. We shouldn't see it as, oh, they want me. No, it's a privilege for them to think of you, to
Right,
say
right,
you are important enough in my life for for you to say, you know what, I want you to come. And instead of us saying, okay, they want my presence, it should be like, wow, they think high enough for me, or well enough for me to want me there. You're in the hospital, and like you said, people don't, they don't want you to see them in in that state. But for them to say, hey, I want you to come see me in this state, we should think of ourselves as, oh, that's a privilege, because you love me that much to say, you know, I don't care what I look like. I want you to come. I want you to come and do it. And so I I don't think the way the way the state of America is, people are, it's like people are nasty, and a lot of things are happening. Like you can just say and do, calling people names, and it's crazy. It's crazy, but we have to be inclusive of 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 all people. I'm not saying go out there, this man beat hit. I'm not saying crazy stuff like that. But I mean, you need to, or not you. We need to to live our lives every day and everything that we do like Jesus. Jesus, he ate dinner with the worst of
they
the
love their
worst.
neighbor.
I mean, prostitutes, tax collectors, the worst
Neighbor,
of the worst.
neighbor.
He loved them. I'm sorry.
He said, love thy neighbor.
Love that neighbor.
He
That
didn't
that
say
we,
love
we
thy. He didn't say love thy rich neighbor. He didn't
yeah,
say love thy athletic neighbor. He didn't
right.
say love thy doctor neighbor. He
Yeah.
said love thy neighbor. So whatever state they're in, no matter what they're going through, no matter what they're challenged with physically, mentally, love thy neighbor as thyself,
Why do you think we
as
do it?
thyself.
I'm sorry.
Say again?
Why do you think people ostracize? So let's pick one.
Yeah,
So dark, we're brown skinned, we were dark skinned growing up, we're dark skinned, our people say, if you're light skinned you're better, if you're dark skinned you're this. What do you think it is for that particular one? What for that, let's just pick one, that one. What do you think it is?
for me, I think it's insecurity. To be point blank, I think it's
Okay.
insecurity when you have to feel better or make somebody feel less than, other
Yep.
than in your walking your own self confidence. I think I truly just think it's a lack of it's insecurity when you don't
Interesting.
have the security within yourself. Like you can walk around and feel good about who you are and not have to put anybody else down, not have to display somebody else because of whatever they're dealing with. So
I think
it's
that wraps it up. I think
yeah,
you're right. I think it is
for me.
insecurity, because when you feel like you have to talk down to somebody to make yourself feel better, yeah, yeah.
I've been around people and they always have to talk about themselves. They always have to talk about themselves. And um, I was just
Yeah,
raised as you don't talk about yourself, you know. You let other people talk
yeah,
about your accomplishments. You let other people say what you've done, or what you do, or what you're
yeah,
great at. Like
yeah,
uh, for what? What that's an insecurity to me.
yeah.
That's an insecurity to me. So um, I truly believe that hurt people do hurt people. I know that's cliche. I know
No,
we
it's
hear
right.
that, but hurt people because sometimes you find out when people who were that way, you'll find out they were picked on when they were little, or
Very true. That is
they
very,
didn't have
it
they
is
didn't
very
have much,
true.
or they didn't have much, and they were needy, or whatever. So it's their way to be bigger than the situation. Like I can control this,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
I we just need to love our neighbor. We need
yeah,
to love our neighbor. We see it, Janice. That's it. We need to love our neighbor. Um,
yeah, yeah.
that's what God has called us to do, and it's simple. It's really simple if we stop. taking so much time trying to impress. We take up so much time, we spend so much money, we do all of these things to impress people who could care anything, could care less about us.
That is very true. That is very, very true. That's very true. And the reason I say that's true, if you buy a Mercedes, don't get me wrong, I would love to have a very nice car, very nice house, whatever. But once someone say, "Oh, that's nice," then what do you have? It's like, then what do you have? Again, I'm
Yeah.
not on here trying to say people who have, because I want one. I would like to have whatever. I would like a Ferrari. I mean, of course, I would like those things. Now, but when someone says that's a beautiful car, and then they keep on going, what else is there? Like what
Let
else?
me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
If you lived in a city by yourself with nobody else, I know that's hard to imagine.
Hmm.
Would you still want a Mercedes?
That is a really good question,
That's
and
the way I
I
look
have
at
to
life.
tell you, I probably wouldn't care. Let me tell you what. If I was in a city by myself, I would probably get a truck.
There we go. You know what I drive?
It- if I was by myself in a city, that is a very good question. Because you're right, and I would get a truck that rolls smooth on all different kinds of
There you go.
terrain.
There you go.
Um, so that's right. See,
That's the
I got it. I still had that. I'm one of those people. But if I was by myself, I have a
and
truck.
and I ask that because like I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want a Mercedes if there was nobody around, nobody to comment, nobody to impress. They would just want that car because of its luxury, or because of its ride,
Uh-huh.
because of the amenities in it. But I
Yeah.
look at it like that. If I'm here by myself with nobody to impress, what would I drive? I drive what I drive right now. And a lot of
So
people think my truck is I'm like, man, this thing, I can do anything, go anywhere,
yeah,
and perform any task in
with
one
a truck.
vehicle.
With a
I,
truck.
I
Yeah,
ain't got to
you're
go
right.
switch. If I got a lot of people on the ride, I got a huge cab. Like jump in. If I
Yeah,
got to haul something, put it on back. If I got to tow something, I'll pull it.
it's a truck.
And,
It is. It's
I
interesting
mean,
to think that way. To think if when you said that if we're here by ourselves, there's no one around, things would be totally different. So if you could live your life thinking, who cares what people think? You would drive different. Your house would be like, okay, Tanya and our house isn't huge, but you can only sleep in one room. You can only, now, don't get me wrong. I would love to come out on the porch and just look at animals all day. I wish I had some land that I could do that. Just look and just, now I would do that. But as far as people who have 15 bedroom house, cool. That's cool. But when you think I can only sleep in one room, I can only cook in one kitchen, I can only do certain things.
that's not to slight
Oh,
anyone.
absolutely not.
I ain't making no excuse because I care less about what people think. I'm empathetic, and I really like to think before I speak, and sometimes I don't always. So I'm not, bashing anyone for having multiple cars or luxury cars or living in $1 million homes, this and that and other. Get what you want, but what I'm just saying is, to me, I only want what my wife and I want together.
Mm.
Like I don't want something because somebody else has it. I don't want 38,000 square feet because somebody has 32,000 square feet or 3,200 square feet. Like, I don't want the bigger or the better or the newer because somebody else has it. I want it, anything that I want, I feel like I obtain it because
Right.
I need something, and I would prefer this type. You know, not the best of, man, because they're
Yeah,
gonna all ride the same. Matter of fact, the more you spend on a car, the
the more,
faster the value drops.
yeah, and the more expensive it is to keep it up too, and so on and so forth. But when you start thinking like that, and this is petty or whatever, but so you see that clock back there? Y'all see that clock back there?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
don't work. It don't work. Haven't worked for years. But I say that to say this. I wonder how much we get. I loved uniform. My kids used to in some schools had uniforms in school.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why I love uniforms for school, because you are not focused on this and that. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people have,
I
and that's
don't.
okay. I love uniforms for school.
Me too.
I'm going to say something real bad, but I love uniforms for school because there's nothing to do but think about what you're there for school.
That's
And
it.
dog, his pants tan just like my pants. And so it makes it more difficult for us to ostracize people when we are um
It's an
just
even
letting
playing field.
we're just playing
It,
field.
that's it. That's it. It's an even playing field. Everybody has on the same thing. The only thing we're challenged with now is our learning ability. Our
Yeah,
learning ability. And some people have to, I mean, some people are ostracized for that reason. But
right.
that's
Nerds,
another subject. That's another
ner-
subject.
nerds. It's like you a nerd, you and whatever. Oh, I'm sorry that I make
It's
straight A's and B's or
it's
straight A's.
nerd,
Hmm,
it's nerd
appropriate.
offensive.
I
Is
have
that
no idea. If nerd is offensive, I am sorry. I
no,
don't.
I asked because I had a guy say, "Oh, I'm a nerd," and I'm like, you know what? I knew we grew up hearing it and we said it, but like
I don't
I
know.
never really I never really thought about like, is that an offensive word to a person who we project that on, or do they? Is it a term of endearment? Like, do they appreciate it?
I'm
Like,
looking it up because
I've never seen anybody get upset by being called a nerd.
it is. So, all right, y'all. I'm sorry. It says nerd can be considered a bad word because it historically has negative connotations of being unattractive, socially awkward, and a dull person.
Agree with
Okay.
that now. I don't agree with that. I
Yeah,
don't agree with that.
that's a stretch. But you remember because we're in our 50s, and I have to admit that some of this is going too far. I say stuff and they're like, "Ooh, you can't say
Somebody
that."
said no, it's not offensive. It can go both ways. Cause I mean, well, I ain't gonna say all of that, but we
Thank you, Miss Graham. Somebody said it's not
uh,
offensive. I don't think so. And if you was a nerd, that just meant you smart, and somebody gonna be working for you one day. That's how I see it.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's offensive. I think it's how we use every word. I think
Very
it's
true.
our
The
projection of the
context.
word
That's right.
and and our mindset when we're using it.
That's
Because
right.
we can use any word to be offensive.
That's true.
I'm
That's
I'm a
very true.
Christian, but somebody can probably feel like they're offending me. You Christian? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. You know the you
So,
know not nerd, but the other N word.
oh, I understand. I understand. Yeah. And
I'm like, hey man, now let's not get into a tick to tack. Because see, back in the day, it wouldn't received with such grace.
but
But
cause be honest, Casey. Be honest. Back in the day, I could say words and it was offensive. I could say something. I could sound just as nice,
oh, I
and
know,
I was offended.
I know,
And that was offensive. But you are correct. It depends on how you use the word. How
right,
you use the
right.
word.
I agree. I agree. We can project those things out, and um, if we mean it a certain way, it can be offensive. Anything can be offensive.
That's true. Very
Anything
true.
can be offensive. So I just want to end today's discussion with just encouraging people to not to ostracize. That's another challenge. Like I think we challenged each other one of the shows before we took a 2 week break. And by the way, I hope everybody had a awesome Thanksgiving. I know I did. Had family around, all the grands. We really enjoyed each other on that day. Had a lot of good times, a lot of memories. So, um, but I want to encourage family and friends and strangers alike to to be bigger then sometimes our minds want to respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's love. Let's love thy neighbor as thyself. That neighbor is not the person next door. That neighbor is all of those that are around us. They are all our neighbors. There are certain things that, like, I don't believe are the right way to live, but I don't want to ostracize anyone because of their belief. It's what you believe. At the end of the day, it's only two places we going. It's only two places we going. And I know that the good Lord will have us to be with him, but it's only two places. There ain't no other place. If you believe that, then you believe that. I ain't gonna ostracize you for it. But my belief is that there are only two places that we're gonna ultimately end up forever. So I don't think ostracizing people will get us to that ultimate goal. That's the ultimate
No.
goal.
Yeah.
These what we're in year 20 uh, 26, about to be in less than a month. So that's AD.
Yeah.
2026 years ago is when our Savior was born, according to how they lay out the calendars and this and that and the other. Um, so we're only here for 75, maybe 80. Some live a little longer. That's a very small portion. That's a vapor. That's like woof, when you think about the amount of time that the earth was formed. Forever is a long time. If you ever really sit down and think about forever, that means something is infinite. It will never end. So let's do our job. Let's stand up for those that are being ridiculed. Let's stand up for those that are being ostracized, and just try to love our neighbors as ourselves. You know, we grow. You know, the kids coming along. I used to pick at people with the best of them.
Yes, we did.
I used
We
to
did.
get, we used to crack all the time, but
Yeah.
cracking was never one of those things where it was an attempt to hurt somebody. It was actually, to me, I used it as an art to engage people, to make people laugh. Like, there were some things that I probably said. Matter of fact, I found out something the other day, and I don't know if you watched it or not, but brother told me I said something the other day, and I was like, bro, are you serious? He was like, yeah, okay, so you said that. I called him and apologized, man. I called him and apologized. I'm 50, going on 52, and I called him and apologized for something I said when I was 17 or 18, because I couldn't believe I said it, but I knew I was edgy back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
I was edgy. You know, I am not who I was, but I
Yeah.
am not also who I'm gonna be. So
Right.
I'm grateful for the growth. Um, so man, we're gonna dial it in. Again, this is Let's Talk with Casey and Mike. Y'all send us anything y'all want to send us, any questions. We thank y'all for tuning in. Those that did tune in, we thank you all so much. We're grateful. Let's talk. Casey Mike at gmail.com. Send any questions, send any topics y'all would like to hear us talk about. And we're gonna dive in, and
Yes.
we are not afraid to touch anything.
We're not.
So let us have it. God bless you all, cuz.
Love you guys. We really do. Just real quick, my wife just called me out in the comments talking about I had to make apologies to people too. That ain't funny. We'll talk about it after the show. But we love you guys. We do. We appreciate you guys, and we can't wait for the next time. We have some ideas, but we ask that you guys please send us some ideas because we want to engage everyone. We don't want to just be just Michael and Casey. This isn't just us. We want it to be all of us, not just he and I. We want it to be everybody. We love you guys, and we appreciate you. And again, like Casey said, send us any questions, any comments, and we'll get to them. All right, guys, we love you, and you take care.
God bless.
God bless.